2026, I've made it a goal of mine to revamp my TBR, to redeem it and come back on top, because I have noticed that my physical TBR has stayed at 110, 120 books almost every single year, but it seems to be the same books that are staying on it. So this year I am prioritizing reading my physical TBR, both previously owned and also new ones that come in, because I like balance. And so today I decided to let Nick pick my TBR, who is my boyfriend, because I can just give him every single book off my physical TBR for him to choose from, and he knows nothing, so he's just gonna pick me books and I don't have any say in it, and I have to read them, and so I will not be just like putting off random books. Like, he could just pick me whatever. And I thought it was a lot of fun, and I also love to have him on my channel because I think he's a lot of fun. In order to let Nick pick off my physical TBR, I need to show him my physical TBR, so I need to take every single book off of this for him to have a pile to look at, because it's all just like associated within it. So I just want to have it so that he can just like look, and I don't have to like have him pull out a book and be like, have you read this yet? So we are going to yank it all off for him, and then I'm gonna bring him down here to pick my first book. Okay, I have all my books. I'm gonna try and stack them a little bit nicer for him, but they're all over the ground over here. So I have left a couple things out if they were like sequels and haven't read the first book, or if I really am not in the mood because I'm not willing to do myself. I'm talking about the John Gwyns up there. Even though I haven't read them, I left them all up there because I just am not ready to deal with those yet. Now I have a Nicholas here, and he is going to pick my books this week to tell me what to read every single time. So my entire physical TBR is on the ground, and he doesn't know anything about most of them, so I have no idea what he's gonna pick, and I'm kind of nervous, but I'm gonna move it off screen so that he can peruse all the books. You can move them around.
What am I supposed to do? I don't understand.
You're just picking me a book to read.
I just pick one.
Yeah.
There's too many to pick one.
And then when I finish, you'll pick me another one.
Do I have parameters?
No.
No parameters?
No parameters.
Well, that makes this really difficult.
There's like 120, so good luck.
That's so much responsibility. You know how I feel about making decisions. I'm an indecisive person, and you know my hatred of picking a favorite. And this feels like that.
You have to pick a favorite.
Well, the rest of them are going to be left out. I feel like these ones are like very conspicuously placed here.
No, those are my hardcovers.
How are these the same book?
No.
Eye of the Bedal Lamb Bride? Is it a different series?
Yeah.
It says Dungeon Crawler Book 6. Is this not part of the Dungeon Crawler series?
No.
Oh, that's why. Okay, I understand now. I don't know, there's too many.
You'll have more than one option eventually.
His covers are so, they're just like gripping. They pull you in, all of them. Ooh, it's got a really nice texture actually. I didn't know that they were like...
You never felt them before, they're nice.
I feel like haven't you read this one?
I technically have read that one, but in order to read the other ones that are on my physical TBR, I want to reread it. So I put it in the stack as like...
I feel like that's not fair. Overgrowth? That kind of sounds cool. I don't know. Ooh, that one looks very space AI-ish.
Do you want to like pull out some that you're thinking about so you remember?
Ooh, a vampire in a cage? This is a big boy. This one would scare me. It's got cool edges too. Too much red for Cassidy. This one looks like there's a lot of banging in it.
Puts it down.
A lot of banging in that one. There's too many.
You don't have to go through them all if you don't want to.
Ooh, this one looks cool. I swear, do I need to read the titles? I'm a visual learner.
You can pick however you want to pick.
Speak of the Demon? That one sounds scary. Ooh, this one's kind of cool. I'm picking solely on... This feels like it's gonna end poorly. Strictly on aesthetics today. And, oh, I didn't notice this one, but this one's cool too. This one gives me old castle vibes. Today's gonna be strictly artwork. Ooh, this one's kind of cool. I kind of like this cover actually. Ooh, this one's cool too. That one's also cool. Ooh, that's like an anime. My nose feels very stuffed up. Okay, now these are my final decisions. Why is there a dot there? This little dot here angers me. I think it's supposed to be the moon, but it doesn't look right, so that one's out. I kind of like this one. It's different. It gives me like Ripley's Believe It or Not vibes.
I don't know what that is actually.
This one. Blue sprayed edge. We got a little Ripley's or Not. We got Silver Nitrate. Would you like me to read the synopsis?
There's no synopsis on that, probably. Okay.
There's a wolf on it.
Thank you so much.
Why do you have it if you don't know what it is?
I know what it is.
What is it?
It's like a historical horror.
Historical horror? It actually does give me horror vibes. Historical, what does that mean? Is it real?
No, it's like set in the past, like history.
Okay, so my question still stands. Why do you have it? It does not sound like a Cassidy book.
I'm pretending to hate it. Because it was the first book in a sub box, so I had to get it to get the sub box. So I needed to read it. It's been on my shelves for so long, so it was a good pick.
I'm gonna read Silver Nitrate by Sylvia Moreno Garcia.
Well, thank you. That'll be my first book. I actually don't 100% know how those clips turned out, so I'm hoping they turned out okay. Not my man choosing probably some of my scariest books on my shelf, and I have owned this book forever. I want to say 2-3 years now and haven't gone to it, so it is good for this whole project for me to redeem my TBR and get the books I love back on it for me to read this, because honestly I was never picking this book. I was probably re-spinning if it landed on this book because I think I'm gonna hate this book. So we might see Nick sooner rather than later, but at least now I'll know. You know, this was like the first book in the Illumicrate horror book, and I didn't have a choice if I wanted to join that box. I had to have it. Not gonna lie, that box for me has a lot of scary picks that I have, but I keep it around because I want early access to Illumicrate, and I like some of them, so it's worth keeping around for me personally. This one would have been a skip if I was allowed to skip it, but I wasn't. I'm so scared. I'm actually so scared. But none of his other picks were that good either. I think they were all scary picks. And I don't know what that says about me, but is my entire physical TBR scary? Yes. We've started the book, and it's not as scary as I thought it was going to be. I feel like everyone who's ever talked to me about this book has talked about it in like a historical way, or maybe that's just what I know about Sylvia Moreno Garcia. Right now, I do think it feels very literary. I don't feel tense or anything. And for me, reading horror, I will say like that's the number one thing I want to feel. I want to feel stressed out. I want to feel like the walls are closing in on me as I read. I want to feel like I'm suffocating, like things are happening and I have no control over them, and that there's red flags everywhere that characters are missing, and I just want to feel like this tenseness. And I will say like slow, psychological driven stories don't always work for me because I want to feel more scared than what they're giving to me. And like scared doesn't feel like the right term, because it's not that I feel scared, I just feel tight. Like I feel like I'm a ball of yarn and someone is like pulling the yarn and it's just like tightening around me, or like there's a snake just slowly suffocating me, and that's the feeling I want to feel when I'm reading horror books or thriller books. Like on the edge of my seat, what's gonna happen next? I wonder how far into the book I am. I've been listening to the audiobook on Libra FM, so I'm on chapter 8. Oh, which is actually a decent chunk into the book. I'm farther in than I thought I was. So I'm on page 97, about a third of the way in, I think, and I'm just waiting for something to happen at this point. I'm not hating it at all, but I'm not loving it either. It feels very literary at this point. I feel like I'm just being told stories and I'm waiting for like the horror elements to hit me at some point. It feels like a 3, maybe a 2 currently, just because like I'm not super engaged into the story, but I also don't dislike it. I don't want to DNF it. I'm also enjoying some of the representation in it. I like hearing a little bit more about the cultures and stuff, and so I am enjoying that. It just feels so slow and like nothing is actually happening. I don't even know what this is about, and as I'm reading and I'm 100 pages into it, the fact that I don't know what it's about is kind of crazy. Essentially, we're following 2 characters who, one is an actor that had an accident and now doesn't get booked for a lot of things. He hit someone with his car, I think, accidentally, and that person passed away, and now his name is not in the best light. And then the other character is a sound editor, and she's kind of left out of sound editing because it is in the 90s in Mexico City. Maybe that's why people talk about it being historical, but I don't really think of the 90s as historical. Like, I get it's in the past, but it's not the same, you know? Like, we're not wearing corsets and gowns and being married off. I mean, we are being married off, we're still being married off, but the vibes just are different. She's trying to like prove herself, and they find a new neighbor who was a cult horror director, and he's like telling them his own story of his life, and they're trying to help him. I do think I just got to the part where maybe the plot is actually starting, because the because the synopsis does say the magic film was never finished and he swears he's cursed and he wants them to finish the film to uncurse him. So maybe I'm about to get some of the like horror and magic and I just like haven't gotten there yet. And I'm intrigued to get to that aspect. We are going to make a good dent because I'm going to listen to my audiobook and we are going to go to my dining room table. I have a bit of a haul happening at this table. These are just empty boxes. They technically had 2 new syrups. I got pumpkin pie syrup and toasted marshmallow syrup. I've had the pumpkin pie before, but I've never had the toasted marshmallow. And I just thought, as I'm running out of the ones back there, I would restock with some new flavors to try. I have a book haul right here because I ordered the Rest of Me Mortal Instruments books that I didn't have, and then the first book in Clockwork Angel because I have been binging my way through those this month, and I was excited to have them, and hopefully Nick will pick one for me because I would really like to continue this series, and this would be the perfect week to do that. So I'm hoping he'll know that I'm reading these and he'll be like, yeah, let's read these this week, you know, not pick scary books. Then I went to Michael's today and I have been working on a crochet project, a crochet cardigan, and I'm almost done that. And I was like, well, I'm kind of still in the mood to crochet, so let's start a new cardigan idea or sweater idea. And I have been looking for a red and pink sweater for a while, and I can always find them in like States websites but never on Canadian websites. So I was like, why not make myself my own sweater? So I picked out some yarn, this like red and pink color. It's a little bit bright for me, but it is what I've been liking and what I've been seeing, and I've been searching for this for like 5 months now. So we're gonna do this. I'm either gonna do checkered or stripes. Like I won't get to it in this vlog because I'm going to be working on that cardigan that I'm working on, but I did pick up the yarn since there was a big sale on yarn at Michael's, and now I have colors for it, and I do think it's gonna look good. Even though it's bright, I'm really excited for it. Also, while I was at Michael's, I picked up knitting needles because I'm thinking about trying to knit. I'm thinking about learning how to knit, and I was like, well, while I'm here, I'll pick them up. So then when I decide I want to knit randomly, I have them because that's who I am as a person. I also have a little set of sewing needles because I'm going to need to, well, not sewing, like to sew in my yarn for my crochet projects because I'm gonna need to be doing that on my cardigan soon. Some buttons for my cardigan, super exciting. And then the real reason that we're over here is I bought some blocks to block out my projects, and I am going to be spending the next 30 minutes, however long it takes me, trying to block out some granny squares. I'm almost done completing the granny squares, but they are gonna need to block since that's something you're supposed to do. And I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't skip steps, even though I have a tendency to do that. So I'm gonna listen to the audiobook and we're going to attempt this together. What the heck,
You
Chad?
didn't believe me, but he likes you. Give him a little.
This is the most he's stayed in someone's hand.
Okay. Got camera shot.
I'm on chapter 18, which is 65% in. And I feel like not a single thing has happened. Like, where's the horror? I really struggle with horror because of this. Because I can't say this isn't horror for someone else. Because maybe this would put you on the edge of your seat. And maybe you would be like, what the heck is going on? Based on your own personal experiences. But for me, I'm disengaged. I don't care what happens. I feel like we've spent pretty much this entire book just talking about other characters. We're like relaying a story almost. And I think it's set up to do that because we're kind of like interviewing people and like hearing about their past. But like I don't care about those characters that we're talking about. I care about the characters whose heads I'm in. And I am a reader who is very much someone who wants to see everything happen on paper and I want to care. So I think I'm just really struggling with it because like I don't care about anything that's happened in the first 60%. The most stuff I've cared about is the beginning setup where we learned about their jobs and stuff. But anything that's been horror, I have just not cared about. It actually reminds me a lot of my feelings on, is it Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay? Where I'm somewhat interested in like the literary aspect of it, but the horror aspect of it has done nothing for me. I do like this idea of like this horror movie that was filmed and like hearing about it, but I'm just lacking any like feeling of being on the edge of my seat, I guess. I don't know. I am not loving this. I am gonna finish it, I think, because I do have a special edition of it. I think I could see myself giving this 3 stars, and then I think I would keep it on my shelves because it is really pretty and I have lots of room. But it would be one of those books that would be like first to go as I started to like fill my shelves a little bit. But yeah, it's reading really quickly and it's easy to crochet to, and I just am not in the mood to start another book. Also, it means I have to get Nick to like pick me another book, and I think he's taking a nap anyways. So I'll probably finish this by the time he wakes up from his nap, and then maybe I can get him to pick me a book. It is time to remove my first batch off the blocking board. If I compare, okay, it definitely is a little bit more square. I don't know if you can see like these edges, definitely like around here and square here. However, I think it might just be for these yellow ones. I don't know if I went like stretched out enough on all the other ones. Like this one still definitely has like round corners, but I guess comparatively maybe a little bit better. I don't know if at the end of the day it was worth it. I think potentially it'd be more worth it if I was more good at crocheting and more consistent, because I do think that already these sizes are like a little bit wonky because, well, I'm not consistent with my tension, that's for sure, but like I do not crochet that often. I do not claim to be very good at it. I just claim to enjoy doing it. And that is my half-ass way of getting through things. I don't need to be, well, I do want to be good at everything I do, but I don't need to be like the very best, because sometimes that takes a lack of enjoyment out of it for me, and I could just practice and practice and practice and never make something, but for me that's not fun. So I prefer to make things and just kind of have them be a little bit wonky, because I think that that is way more fun. Okay, well, I'm gonna block the rest, I guess, and maybe get to sewing together some of them tonight. I actually kind of slowed down. I still have one more of these to make, so I might make the big boy ones, but I should be able to block some of these. I mean, not block. I should be able to sew some of these together actually if I want to. Yeah, I also need to weave in the ends because that's all not done. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do that before blocking. I don't know. I wasn't even gonna block, and then some part of my brain was like, what if you just tried it? I have finished Silver Nitrate. I don't know how to talk about this. I don't even know my feelings on it. I personally didn't feel like this was a horror. It's so hard because what horror means to everyone is so different. So I can't like straight up say this isn't horror, but I feel like the horror aspects just came from the occult aspects in this. And for me, this read like a literary fantasy because occult is such a big thing in so many fantasies. But also maybe if you believed in ghosts and stuff, this would feel more horror. And I believe all of this is very predominant in Mexican culture, and I did like that aspect of it. I liked seeing the setting and the culture come to play into this story, so I did like those elements, but I personally was very bored. I kept waiting for more horrific elements. I kept waiting for the atmosphere to feel a little bit more horror, and it just missed the mark for me. I think I'm gonna keep this on my shelves because I have the space specifically on my horror shelves, and this is a special edition, but this will be one of the first to go when I get rid of it. I'm probably gonna give it like a 3-star. I enjoyed elements of it. I didn't hate my time reading it, but I didn't have like the best time either. Like it felt very mid for me. So yeah, I am gonna keep it for now because I just have a lot of room. Like I have a lot of room on my horror bookshelf at this point in time. So there's no reason for me to get rid of a 3-star book right now that is pretty, and I do really like this special edition. I do think it looks really cool. I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say. I have let Nick pick another book for me, I think a day ago, because I knew I was gonna be finishing this and he's been on site for work. So I wanted to have it picked a little bit earlier so that I could read the second book whenever I was ready for it. So let's watch Nick pick me a book.
What should the vibe be today?
I don't know. It's up to you.
Are we picked based on appearance? Do we pick based on the coolest author name or the coolest title? Or do we just pick based on the most ginger lady on the front of a book? Because I think that one I'm playing. This one looks really cool, but this feels mean to make you read. That thing's massive. If someone told me I had to read this, I would cry.
I read a lot of long books if that's helpful.
This one's cool. Crescent City House of Earth and Blood. But we already picked on vibes, and this one's giving me vibes.
We have a supervisor here as well, making sure the picks follow Nick's word.
I kind of want you to read that one. I feel like that's a cop-out. Andrew Joseph White. That guy's got 3 names. Caitlin Starling. I kind of like this one too. But it looks scary, and I just think I gave you a scary book already. Kane Minati. That's kind of a cool name.
It's Kane Minato, if that helps.
Kiminato?
Kane Minato.
I like that. John Mars. That's kind of a cool name. Mars. Skizzy Mars. Paul Tremblay. Gretchen McNeil. Ooh, I kind of want you to read this one because it looks like Oak Island. The show. And I like Oak Island. Anyone ever watch Oak Island? Haven't you read this one too?
Nope, I have not read it.
I was looking.
Supervisor.
Nicholas. I think you should read this one because he's got the same name as me. We're going based on authors. This is the one. The Boys Are Back in Town. Nicholas Emmys.
Final, you're not going to look through the rest? You don't have to.
No, this is the one. I found he called to me.
This has been on my TBR for, 4 years now? So...
And you just keep avoiding it?
We're reading it. That's why I'm doing this whole series, is to change up my TBRs.
We need another... Sorry.
I want to get, all the ones that have been on there for a really long time off and get new books in that I actually am excited about.
We need another vibe for the next one. We did looks, now we did name of author, and now...
Title, I thought was the next one.
Title might be the next one.
Okay.
That's the one. I hope it's a 10-star.
Frankie, do you agree?
A 10-star out of 5. Oh.
Frankie agrees.
Frankie agrees with anything that dangles in the sky.
I think I could have guessed whose name he would have picked because he did go with Nicholas because his name is Nicholas. And I think that's absolutely hilarious and so Nick-coded. He didn't even get through the rest of the stack. I'm intrigued to see how he'll pick the next one because he seems to just be picking something and that's how he's gonna pick it. He has to give himself a parameter, which does kind of make sense because he literally knows nothing about my books. I don't really talk about my books that often, so I feel like he doesn't know that much. I have other people in my life I go to talk about books. I talk to Nick about content, but I'm not like, oh my god, I loved this book constantly. He knows what my favorite books are, but my TBR shelf he really knows nothing about. So giving himself a parameter does make sense in my brain, but I didn't want to give him parameters, so he can do it on his own. Kings of the Wild. I have had this book for a while and I think I'm scared of it. Well, I was scared of it. I have started it, so I shouldn't talk like I haven't. This is a story following essentially a group of men who were heroes. They had a band of heroes. They took down monsters. They ate with kings and queens, and now they've grown up and they've gotten old and they just have the stories of themselves. However, when one of the guy's daughter ends up in trouble, he tries to get the whole group back together to go save her, even though they're old and they don't fight anymore and all of this. But what would you do for your daughter? Things like that. I just picked up the sample on Kindle so I could read it in bed, and I read that entire sample, which is 43 pages into the book. So just a brief starting aspect. The current first 40 pages I actually really enjoyed, and the thing is, I don't think I would have enjoyed them had I read them when I bought this book. I think I bought this book when I was 23, 24, which I'm still young at 28, but I do think in those last 3-4 years, I've really started to have a little bit more back pain. I've literally felt more I want to sleep a little bit more. I definitely have grown older within the last 3 or 4 years. And so I can appreciate the story a little bit more, and this idea of giving up your life currently to go do something that's dangerous is a lot scarier now than it even was 4 years ago. And let's not mention if it was 20, 30, 40 years ago, then it would be extra scary. I actually don't know how old the guys are. I don't think think they're that old. Now I think I'm getting into the traveling aspect of this book because I believe they go on a journey, and I hate traveling journey stories. So I'm not expecting to actually really enjoy this one past what I have now, but I will say the beginning has surprised me with how much I did enjoy it, and it wasn't like an automatic DNF. I bought this so long ago before I realized how much I hate travel journey stories. Like since then I have realized that they do not work for me in any format, and so that's why I have this, because it was before I knew my taste a little bit more. But I want to give it a little bit more of a shot. I want to continue a little bit more before I make up my mind, because right now I'm just assuming it's going to get into that traveling that I don't like. So we'll give it a couple more pages, probably till page like 100 before I update you again. But I could come back in like 5 pages and be like, actually no, I want a DNF, because that's who I am. I fully believe what I say to you. Like when I say a clip, I'm like gaslighting myself. I will say I'm going to come back in 50 pages. I'm not going to DNF this. And I fully believe in myself and those thoughts. And then I read 5 pages and my mind has changed and I've decided to DNF. And that's just how I live my life. I live my life in like absolutes, and that's kind of crazy, and I know it, and I probably should work on it, but I definitely do. The thing is, I wish I had the audiobook, and I'm not willing to buy the audiobook considering I might DNF it. And Nick's not home to pick me another book. As soon as he gets home, I think I'm going to give him an option of books that I have audiobooks for, because I really would like one to go along with this, because I want to start sewing in my granny squares. This is the last granny square I have to make, and I have to put my 3rd batch onto the thing to stretch to block. I know that I can put like multiple granny squares into one like needle thingy for blocking, but because of it being my first time, I really wanted to do them individually because they're not all the right size and things like that. So I don't need comments telling me that I can do that, because I know it. I'm learning and I'm playing, and I want to see what works best for me, and that's how I kind of do my hobbies. But yeah, I kind of want to start sewing these together or something, and I have laundry to do today, and I need to cook at some point, and there's so much I need to do. So I wish I had an audiobook, so I might give him options as soon as he gets home for an audiobook, because I think that would make my life a little bit easier. And so many of the options on my physical TBR I don't have audiobooks for, but there is probably like 10 that I know I could get the audiobook for, so I might just give him that pile. I have been cleaning all day for some reason. I don't know what got into me, but for some reason I just got the cleaning bug, which, like, as someone who hates cleaning, when I get this like feeling, I know what it is actually, I'm lying to you. I am procrastinating doing other things. And so in order to feel better about my procrastination on things I like to do, I'm procrastinating by doing things I don't like to do, but also things that needed to get done. And I mean, I cleaned. I wiped all my counters down, scrubbed my stove, which I scrub a lot because I'm a very messy cook, mopped my floors, vacuumed my floors. I even washed some of the baseboards. I did the bathtub, and it's been a long day. It's been long. I'm technically not done cleaning yet, although I might lose the bug after I do this. That does tend to happen like halfway through. The exhaustion hits and I can kind of feel it starting to come, but I feel like I felt it a couple times, and every single time I've looked at something and been like, actually I should just do that now, because otherwise I have to do this again in a week or so. But I want to make fresh bread because I had fish for dinner last night, and I feel like my house kind of stinks a little bit, so we're gonna make some like fresh bread to try and bring in like some good smells. I think that's also why I wanted to clean, because the cleaning smell will like cover up the fish smell, and I do like to eat fish. We had fish in like a miso broth and rice, and it was really good, but like sometimes it's stinky to cook seafood. Like it just like smells up the house, which like cooking in general does, but fish is not my favorite smell to have in the house versus like fresh bread is. So I think I'm gonna cook some cheesy jalapeno beer bread. I'm not listening to my audiobook. I'm not reading my book. I think this is part of my procrastination. So there's that, and take with that what you want. I'm just currently crocheting my granny squares together, and I've been listening to the audiobook, and I realized I'm quite a bit further. Turns out I bought this audiobook when it was on sale at some point. It was just in my library, so that's exciting. And I haven't DNF'd it yet. There was a point where I thought I might because the humor was a little bit boy-coded for me. But honestly, I've kind of enjoyed it. It's not a new favorite of mine, that's for sure. And like, I don't know if this is a standalone. If it's not, I probably won't continue. But I'm having fun with it. It kind of has some of the humor and like tone that like Dungeon Crawler Carl has, but like old guys. And I like it. Like, I don't know, there's something cozy almost about it as they go to save someone and they have to defeat things and they have to live up to their own legends, but they're old now and they're like, I can't live up to my own legend, and how like luck is playing into it, but also my boyfriend is playing Call of Duty. That's what you hear back there. But also just like, I don't know, like there's luck, but also what they were trained for. And I don't know, I like it all. I like seeing all their interactions. I'm actually having a good time. So it's been a pretty easy audiobook. I've made it to chapter 40 of Kings of the Wild, and I'm not gonna lie, I am very shocked how much I have been enjoying this story. I think if it's not a standalone, I might continue, which like last clip I said I wouldn't have. There's something about the story and its charisma that reminds me of Dungeon Crawler Carl, and I'm vibing with it quite a bit. It's a little dudeish, but just watching this story of like these old men just get back together after all of this time for love. They go out on this journey because one of them, their kid, is in danger, and he gets the whole band back together, and watching them form this band again and see how their lives are now and see them kind of miss their glory days, but then when they're out now doing their glory day things, they miss the life they have. And like, we see how we get to those parts and maybe the glory days aren't as exciting anymore, but seeing their friendship, like it's like this found family that I really enjoy. And then there's like some humor to it because they are not in their glory anymore. They cannot fight well, and it's literally luck every single time, and it's funny. Like, I'm actually like engaged in the story and enjoying it. I don't think it's as well written for me in characterization as Dungeon Crawler Carl, and in this like take down the system. It doesn't have that like overarching plot that I find this story does, but it does have this like humor and like charisma to it that has kept my attention quite a bit. I keep like looking down and realizing how much I've listened to, and I do find I want to get back to it. Like, maybe it's because I am doing my crochet project, but like I'm like, oh, I could listen to the audiobook again. I think the audiobook is really well done too. I really do enjoy it, and I don't know, there's something charming. I'm charmed by these characters. I'm charmed by their love for each other, their love for people at home, and then their want to do what's good. There's also this character that was set in stone, and so he's still in his glory days, and I think that's kind of funny because there's like a juxtaposition, and like a lot of times they're like, well, good luck, you're the only one who's gonna do the fighting because my back hurts. And I just think like as you're getting older, you relate so hard to this. I think if you're a parent and you have gotten older, you will understand this book so much. Like, even me at 28 years old, I feel like I get it, because like 4 years ago, even 2 years ago, I feel like my back wasn't hurting as much because I slept wrong on it. The older we get, the more you're gonna relate to this story and like the whole situation. But then I don't know, like it's also really cool world building. We keep meeting new things. There's like necromancy in it, there's trolls and cannibals and all of this fun stuff. There's like a rot in the forest, and there's like all these demon things, and I just think it's fun. Like, I don't understand why this is working so much for me, because on paper I don't think it's a Cassidy story. I literally was so angry when Nick picked this book because I was like, you're out to get me. Like, you picked books that I was not super excited for, and I'm so happy he did, because I actually think that I might give this book 4 stars. Like, the farther I get into it, the more I'm enjoying it. And that's shocking because it's also a journey. Like, they are on a journey, but I feel like we're not spending like hours walking. We're like meeting new things constantly. Like, we have switched up how we got to places. There's portals, there's ships, there is some walking periods, there's getting on a carriage and like stealing a carriage from someone else. Like, it's got a quirk to it that I'm very much enjoying, and I am shooketh right now at how much I'm enjoying it. Like, I'm really enjoying it, and I do think that if you like these books, specifically this first one, because I do think like as the series goes on, there's a lot more of a complexity to this story, but in the first one, if you really did enjoy the first one, and if you enjoy like the charm of this and the charm of Carl as a character, I think you'll enjoy Kings of the Wild too. I really do. So yeah, I'm shocked. I'm literally shooketh right now. I really fucked up. Oh, hi. You wanna say hi before I tell them about my fuck up? Oh, yes. You're such a loud cat. He was sleeping with me. So, I finished one panel. This is my left side, or my right side, whatever I decide, you know? We have the other cat. I left them downstairs, so they both just woke up and were like, where'd you go? She will probably actually say hi. Hello. Say hi to the camera. Oh, there's a dog outside. She's watching the dog. Okay, so I made this panel, okay? There's a lot of things I need to sew in now, but oh, Frankster, I need this. I was sewing this one together. I just finished the like long seam and I'm so angry because it's supposed to go this way. And it's supposed to match the other one but be the opposite direction. Guess who sewed it wrong? I sewed it backwards. So these need to be this way and this one needs to be this way. Need to fix that. Just spent hours doing that. Feel really let down by myself right now. Like, I am so frustrated at that. I did finish a book though. I finished Kings of the Wild while I did that, so it's like not a complete loss. I mean, it's not a complete loss. I just have to frog it and do it again. It just like is time consuming. And I was really proud of that one. I feel like I did a really good job on it. But I finished this. I'm giving it 4 stars. I really did enjoy this. I don't have anything to say that I haven't already said. It was a fun time. There was charm to it. I think it's a standalone and I enjoyed it as a standalone. I personally don't need more from this story or these characters. I think it resolved itself pretty nicely and it felt like a start and a finish, and I don't typically like standalones, but I thought this was incredible for a standalone. I did really enjoy it for what it is, and I'm happy I got to it, which is surprising because I probably honestly would have unhauled this without reading. So like, this is why I'm doing this whole project. I think it really goes to show like there's a reason I've held on to these, and this is one of those ones where if you told me to unhaul something from my shelf right now, this would have been one of those stories that I think I could have let go of. And obviously I'm happy I didn't because I did really enjoy it and I will keep it on my shelves. I don't know if it'll be a forever on my shelves thing, but I enjoyed it enough that while I have space, I'm gonna keep it. It's really got 3.5 rounded up to a 4, I think. I had just like a really easy and fun time reading this. And then because I was still sewing these in wrongly, I switched over to the next book because yesterday I got Nick to pick me a second book, kind of feeling like I would finish this today, and I wasn't sure what his schedule was like today, so when he was free I was like, pick me a book. So you can watch that clip now.
I don't know what the theme is today.
Are you doing titles?
Ooh, we could do titles.
That means you have to read a lot of titles.
We could do monstrous power.
You should probably sit down.
Monstrous power. That's what they call me. Monstrous power. Oh, my face is itchy. Are they in specific piles?
No, they're not.
This kind of looks like Avril Lavigne wanted to be in a book.
I see
but
it.
Like Y2K Animal. A Game of Veils. Ugh. Why are they all upside down?
That's in the same series, if that's helpful. Only
Well,
one
how-
of them
how
should
would
technically
you
be in the list. But
Read both of them.
yeah, only one should be down.
Which one? Or you don't know?
Which one says book 1?
I don't know. Oh.
Your left hand.
Shattered Vow. Ugh. King of Wrath. Fire Lane. This looks like it's not gonna be good. I'm sorry, but like, this just doesn't give me like. This also doesn't give me you. Speak of the Demon, maybe. Royal Matte. This looks like Avril Lavigne is on another. Is this another book in the same series?
No, it's a different series.
No, it's not.
It is.
It can't be, because it looks like the exact same person.
Oh, yeah, Secrets of Winter, sorry. That one is the same series, but it's
This
not
is
the
book
same as
4,
Shattered
book
Vow.
5.
I'm on book 4.
So you're cheating the system again. Also, that one's just not getting a vote. Maybe this one. All That We See or Seem. This one seems kind of cool, but I feel like this is not a Cassidy book. But I kind of like this title. The Book That Broke the World. Too basic. It's too like main. The Eye of the Billam Bride. Is this the next? Oh, it is the next book. I should make you wait and read at the same time. Operation Bounce House? That sounds naughty, right? Or no?
It does.
Kind of looks cool though. The Girl in the Moon? There's too many to read from. Tame the Heart? This should go beside the other one. It's like a country lover. City of Lost Souls. Clockwork Angel. Sanctuary of the Shadow. Breath Black Sails.
Beneath.
Breath Black Sails sounds better. Yeah, she beneath him? Or the Academy for Liars? I kind of like this one. The Strength of the Few? Strictly off title vibes? This one just gives me like mystery. Mystery. Pariah?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I was gonna say Pariah, but there's no T. The Darkness Before Them, Cursed Fates, like it just feels they're a little too basic. Of Flames and Fallacies. The Storm Beneath the World. This one looks, ooh, we should have read this one for cover. There's a giant ant riding a fly. This,
You can pick, you don't have to pick off title 2.
I know, okay, those two. There's too many. The Bladed Faith, like, how many of these all gonna sound the same? Sons of Darkness, Queens of Shadows. It's like add a king or a queen and then some type of lighting element. The Golden Enclaves, Trial of Sorcerers, Promise of Fire, Blood of Dragons, Obelisk,
Yeah.
Gate. We Ride the Storm. This chick has big units on her. Should pick that one for the title book. Or the should pick that one for the cover book. I think this title is the best one. The Stone Knife, not a very good knife if it's made of stone. The Obsidian Tower, The Grace of Kings, No Heart Thief.
Okay, hear me out. You can read better upside down.
What the fuck? That was so read. So read.
You just read
That's
that
how
so...
dyslexic I am. I was thinking to say that was so rude, and I said read
But you
because
read
R
that
and R.
so effortlessly, and you struggled with every other title.
Yeah, because my upside down brain it's in the same
That's
brain.
what I'm saying.
The Things Gods Break, Amy Delaforce, A Kiss of Hammers and Flame, Fearless, Rebel Witch, Blood Prince, Blood Union. You Weren't Meant to Be Human, The Tempest of Wrath and Vengeance, and An Academy for Liars. I kind of like The Academy for Liars, to be honest. I feel like it's the most different title. Strictly title vibes, and it looks cool.
That's what I'm reading?
This is your selection.
I swear you hate me.
This is not another.
I swear you hate me.
Why? This one looks good.
Ugh.
Should I read the synopsis?
I don't know if there will be one in there.
I don't even know what a
Special
synopsis
edition.
is, to be honest. Wait, there's a test in this. Just saw it. There was a quiz. Isn't this a synopsis?
Mm-hmm.
Until she gets a mysterious phone call inviting her to sit in the entrance exam for... I hate reading. Reading to the class was literally the most anxious thing I've ever
Okay,
done
then
in my
why
life.
are you offering to read to the class?
That's all they get.
Okay.
Hidden in a secret pocket of Savannah, it's a place called Drayton College, and it's a school of magic. You love a school of magic.
I do. Okay, thank you.
Reading to the class was horrible.
He seems to really like my horror books that are the Illumicrate horror box. Every single time we're there, it like catches his attention, like books from that box specifically. I think he's had at least one, maybe two of them in his choices every single time. An Academy for Liars is one that I was shocked that made it into that horror box by Illumicrate, because everyone I've known has kind of said it reads a little bit more fantasy. I think Alexis Henderson in general reads a little bit literary fantasy, but having read Silver Nitrate, which was in that same box, I think that maybe the box might lean that way, a little bit more literary definitely, and more like occult and witches and vibes, I guess. I'm on chapter 4, so like I'm not far in at all. Roughly like 40 pages in. I'm unsure so far. I think that it's already asking me to suspend my disbelief very early on with like very little setup. It's just like, oh, here's this random phone call and we're gonna accept it, and we're this crazy person that just literally accepts it. There's not a lot of like practical thinking happening right now from our main character. I kind of wish we had sat a little bit more in the initial setup. That's something I tend to prefer, is a little bit longer with our character before like the inciting incidents happen, or like the beginning thing that changes her like whole life. And we're already kind of in the school setting, 40 pages in. I kind of wanted that to take a little bit longer to get there. I like to like learn my character a little bit, learn who she is before going into these things. I mean, that is me talking in fantasy terms. I don't think I've read a school setting horror book really. I don't really know what to expect from this because of how fantasy I think it might lean. Like even Nick was like, I thought this was a fantasy book. And if it is a fantasy book, I think there's been a lack of world building happening right now for me. But as I said, I'm only 40 pages in. I just don't feel like the setup was very well described. It was just kind of like, this is what it is, which isn't my preferred story in any genre in my opinion. But we're only 4 chapters in, so we are going to try it a little bit more. I might take a break because honestly, I've been listening to the audiobook and doing this, and I'm just like really frustrated at this, like really frustrated. Like I'm so mad at myself for doing that. The only thing that I'm thinking about that could maybe make it easier to fix is if I flip it. So it's supposed to go like this way, but I can make it go this way, I guess. And then they would be like slightly different on either side. And that just requires me to take off this square instead of 2 squares. but it wasn't my original plan. I was gonna make them like match on either side, but like the sleeves won't match and neither will the back. So do I need the front to match? I don't think so. So like this was my starting one. So it's kind of the harder one to like frog, but I think it's possible. So I might just, honestly, I might just frog this one and swap it. And then I think I'll be happier than having to frog it all. It might look a little weird because the greens will still be in the same place, but it also could look cute. Also, I was pretty good with like squares, except for this one square. I did notice like there's a big difference in the size of them. So definitely my tension changed a little bit. But overall, I haven't had a lot of issues with it. This is also a bulkier yarn, so that could be why too. Well, not technically bulkier. It's still a 4, but it feels bulkier, definitely. Honestly, I'm feeling better already with that idea to just kind of get rid of the 1. But it is crazier to see, I feel like already, how much better I've gotten at the stitch. It's called the mattress seam. It reminds me of how you tie up like figure skates or like hockey skates. So in my head, it's like the skate shoelace, like the skate lace seam, but it's called the mattress seam and it's supposed to be kind of invisible. The back looks like this, so it's definitely like not visible on the back, but like that doesn't matter. New location unlocked. I'm in our extra room because little girl, little Pip, got spayed yesterday, and so it's just easiest for me to hang out in this room with her. I have a mattress on the floor. There's not a lot in this room. There's just like mixed boxes with all the clothes that he resells. So it's an easy room just to like put her in and not worry about her like climbing too much. Like the only thing that she really jumps on is the bed, and we have like little maid stairs. She's like right down here. Okay, like I feel so bad for her because she's in a cone, but also there's nothing cuter than a cat in a cone at the same time. Like it's like a sad cute, but like watching her sleep yesterday, I have a picture of how she was sleeping and it was so cute. Yeah, the two of us are just hanging out in here. We're having some girls time. If I'm recording something, you might hear Frankie crying though, because Frankie has the whole house to himself and Nick, and he's crying at the door. He wants in here so badly, and I'm like, this one is locked in here in this small room and she is doing fine. As long as I'm in the room, she's fine. The second I leave, she does start to cry, but like she just wants to have someone in here with her, which like valid. I don't want to be locked alone either. Now I wish I had better progress for you because it has been a few days since we started an Academy for Liars on this vlog, but I spent the last day binging The Pit. Honestly, the last 2 days. And I'm kind of mad that I did that because now what am I gonna watch when I'm locked in this room with her? And I should have just like pushed it a little bit. I did binge a bunch of it yesterday while I was with her still, but I did most of it the day before, and that was not productive of me, except for that I did get a lot of sewing in for my cardigan. I think it's coming together. We have the back panels all sewed together now. A lot of things that I need to weave in still. And then we have both panels, and I don't know what I said last time I talked to you, but originally they were gonna match, just be kind of opposite, and I decided to kind of stick with that but go like upside down with the other, so it'll look something like this, and I think that that will look really nice. And then I also have one sleeve sewn together, and I'm in the process of sewing in the next sleeve. Then I will have to sew all of these panels together and obviously weave in all the ends. And then there is like ribbing on the cuffs, on the side, on the bottom that still has to be done. So I still have a lot of progress ahead of me. I'm a little worried it's going to be too small. Like this is like the length of it, and I don't know if I believe that that's enough. Even with like a cuff on the end, this is the wrong way. You can see the stitch. And I don't think it's perfect. I definitely like learned a lot as I went. I definitely wasn't starting my mattress stitch in all the same places at the beginning. I definitely got better at that as I went. But listen, learning curve. This is all a learning curve for me as I learn more things. I don't really know how much I enjoy doing granny square things because the weaving together, the sewing together is kind of a pain. It could be better if I used a stitch in that wasn't the mattress seam, but I love the way the mattress seam looks with like nothing in between. So I don't know, we'll see if I ever make a granny square thing again. But my next crochet pattern is just a sweater that comes up like in like 3 pieces, I think, like front, back, and sleeve, so 4 maybe, but it's not like a bunch of granny squares. But I also am really liking how it's coming together. Like it's definitely more retro and it's gonna be something different in my closet if it fits me. If not, I'll probably give it to like my little cousins or something, see if they want it. It'll be probably too big for them, but who knows. I just would not want it to go to waste, but I'm proud of everything I'm doing so far. So we're going to try to make a dent in the audiobook today, although I'm also tempted to catch up on High Potential. I was watching High Potential with my mom, but since I moved out, we haven't watched it, but she texted me like 2 days ago. She's probably watching this vlog, and she told me that she has been watching it without me, which is so valid because like we have so many shows that I have to go home to watch still, so like whatever. But I was like, well, maybe I should catch up, because she's like, it kind of sucks to not have someone to like talk to about it, because we were always talking about the main character's outfits and things like that. So it's like, well, if I catch up, we can text about every new episode. So I also might catch up on that, but this vlog has to go out Thursday, I think, and it's Tuesday, so I also should make progress in Academy for Liars. It probably doesn't look like it to you, but I've just been crocheting, like sewing in the ends. The middles all had a string, so I crocheted that in, and then right here there was also 2 to 3 strings that I sewed in, but I'm leaving all like the outside ones until I have the trim, because I think it'll be easy, because this is the same color that the trim is going to be, so it'll be really easy to sew into there. So any of the outside ones have been left, but I am making good progress on this. I'm going to sew them in and then sew them together, I think is my plan. And I have been listening to the audiobook for An Academy for Liars. I am struggling hard with this one, which is no surprise to me actually, because this is dark academia. I think I forgot that, because it is in the horror Illumicrate, but then I talked about it being fantasy, and I did know it was a school setting, so I don't know how, but I love a school setting, but I don't like dark academia, and I think it's because in order to have the atmosphere, I find that there is a lack of focus or depth lost in order to preserve that. So like I feel like we don't get enough about the world building or the characters, because there is this like mystery gothic atmosphere that they want instead, and it's like of the unknown and stuff in dark academia, and a lot of like references to like textbooks a lot in these things, and it just for some reason never works for me. It's so sad because I love a school setting, but when it's mixed with like just the vibe of dark academia, I don't know why it doesn't work for me. But I really feel like there is a lack of character depth in this, and I have so many questions about how the magic system works, the world building. It feels very much just like believe it all. And that's not what I want. I want information, especially when it is paired with a school setting. Maybe this is why there's like a juxtaposition of like not understanding everything when I'm literally in a school setting. Like you're telling me you can't explain how this works or have me understanding the world building when we are literally going to classes. Although we're not really seeing our classes in this. But also just characters. I really don't know who is who. And there is like this love interest character, I think. But he has no personality. He's just there. I don't even think she has personality. So yeah, I'm kind of struggling with this one. I'm taking a break to watch the Hannah Montana thingy. I also am editing this video back and realized I did not talk about Realmathon in this video, and it's supposed to be a weekly vlog for that. So sorry. I've been out to lunch because of everything going on, and you're about to hear about it, and I am about to talk about my points for the week. Just to let you know, I did read for the Rogues, and if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I run a team-based readathon every single year in March. It's just like a giant community event to help reading feel a little less lonely. You sign up, you join a team, and then you read for your team. Each book gets you points, and you can add those points to your team or take away from another team, and it's just a lot of fun. I'll have the announcement video linked down below for you to check out. If you've ever wanted to make reading a little bit less lonely, or if you like to gamify your reading, highly recommend checking out readathons. Not just mine, but there's a bunch of them on YouTube. But this week I was supposed to be like reading and talking to you about my points, and that just like went over my head. There was a lot going on, but I will discuss the points that I read for the Rogues team coming up. I did really like the ending of this book, I can't lie. I did really enjoy the way it was resolves and all the strings get tied and what it leaves kind of open for your interpretation with the ending and stuff. I did actually quite enjoy that, which kind of shocked me. I think I was thinking I was gonna give this book 2 stars, but the ending, I think I'm rounding up to a 3. I think, sadly, this could have been a 5-star or a 4-star story, or a story that I just like really enjoyed from a different author, and that's a me problem. That is nothing about the book. I think I wanted a series. Like this whole concept, the school setting, the way the magic worked, all of that was really, really intriguing for me, but I wanted it based in more of a fantasy and romantasy style story than in a dark academia story. And this is marketed as dark academia, like it's my own personal issues. This being in a horror sub box, straight to jail. Like there was no aspect of this for me that read horror, and that's really frustrating considering there aren't a lot of horror sub boxes out there that are doing like the editions that Illumicrate is doing, and like there are so many fantasy and romantasy ones, and this could have fit into one of those pretty effortlessly. Like I could see this marketed as romantasy, just saying. I could see it. I think it's a little bit more up in the air with the ending than a lot of romantasy readers would love, but it just doesn't feel like it belongs in a horror book box for me at all. And it didn't when they picked it, and it definitely doesn't after reading it. I definitely expected a little bit more horror-ish elements to it, something spooky or scary or tense, and it's just like the vibe. It's a dark academia story. Like this truly is dark academia. Fantastical dark academia. I wanted more substance. I wanted more from the world building. I wanted more from the characters. Like we see this like found family aspect at the end that I kind of wish I had more of throughout the story. I think I wanted this to be longer. I think I wanted it not to be a standalone. I just always find standalones never work for me. This doesn't feel like there was enough of everything that I wanted within this, but it feels like this story could have been a duology or a trilogy, and it really would have grasped things for me. There was also some conversations that I wanted in this that I didn't get. We have a main character who has been dating professors her entire life. It's a history she has, and we talk about it. I feel like we just scratched the surface of it though. I wanted a little bit more of a nuanced discussion on like the wrongness of this, and it's kind of hard to do that when there is like a romance happening with a professor that like I'm rooting for, you know? But like I wanted a little bit more of a discussion on that because it felt like they were bringing that theme up often. Like I feel like we were getting snippets of that conversation and then never going past just like, maybe you shouldn't date your professor. And I wanted like a little bit more of a like deep character study on why she always does that and what that means about her and why it's wrong. And I don't know, I just didn't get that out of this. I don't know. I wanted conversations on power and privilege and things like that. This just did not hit the mark for me, although it wasn't as boring as I thought it was going to be, but it was slow, and truthfully, if I had never finished this book, I would have never thought anything of it. Like I could have DNF'd this book. I think someone could have just like told me how it ended and I would have been just as happy as I am now. Like, I don't know. It's a vibe book, and if you like dark academia, pick it up, because I don't like dark academia. It's been said time and time before. Every time I pick one up, I go, right, they're not for me. But they always get me because of how much I love a school setting, and school setting and dark academia not always the same thing. I'm telling you that now. So yeah, but I have made really good progress on my cardigan. I thought I was gonna finish it this week. I really did not realize how much work sewing my granny squares together would be. So currently I have the back panel and then I also have the side panels, and then this has the sleeve on this side also sewn together there. Obviously none of this is sewn together, but this, if I can get to the right spot, these will get sewn together. I think it's gonna be a little tight, but I'm a little unsure. And then like the back panel and this will get sewn together. I think this is gonna be really tight. I think that this is far too small for me, which like whatever, I'll give it away. It'll go to someone that I know that it'll fit. And then there is also like stitching to be done on all the ends and stuff to make it a little bit bigger as well. Like I think there's a cuff and stuff like that. I am proud of myself for what I've done. I am proud that I have not like given up yet either, because when I knew it was too small, typically I think I would be someone who gives up, and I'm not doing that. So I am a little proud of myself, but it's very slowly coming together, but I thought I'd be done it. I thought I was gonna be like done it this week 100%. But now we will take this into our next vlog as well, which is an episode of Reader DNF. I'm gonna be reading sequels for the next week of Realmathon. And speaking of Realmathon, I don't think I caught up with submitting my points for any books. Did I even submit them for Silver Nitrate? I can't remember. But I read 3 books in this vlog. And so I'm gonna pop up what I made for points for Realmathon. I am reading for the Rogues this week, so all my points will go to the Rogues. And this is the points I made per book. Normally I'm a lot better at like reading as I go. We had a very stressful week between our cat getting spayed, and then Nick also got laid off a couple days ago. So we are figuring things out right now. It's not ideal. It's not ideal at any time, but it's really not ideal right now when I'm supposed to be busy, and now my mind is just like mentally not handling anything. Which is gonna probably result in me binging more TV next week. But it is what it is, and I'm happy that next week is sequels for me because I love reading sequels and it tends to be something I can get into a little bit faster. And lastly, I need to tell you a secret, but I need my phone to do that. So your secret for week 3 is who's in second place. And second place currently goes to the Paladins. And that's all I have for you today. So I'm gonna leave the previous episodes of Reader DNF on the screen in case you missed them and you wanna catch up before next week. And then I will also leave the announcement video for Realmathon because you can still participate at the time of seeing this video, and you can backlog all of your books if you would like. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video and you'd like to leave me an emoji just to say you were here, leave me a boy emoji because Nick was very prevalent in this video and he did a really good job. Honestly, he convinced me to pick up some books that I probably wouldn't have, which is the whole purpose of this video. And I am glad that I got through some of my physical TBR here. And I hope you have an absolutely remarkable day.